You know that feeling, right? You take a bite of something so spicy your eyes start watering, your nose is running, and what do? You go right back in for another bite. It's kind of weird when you think about it. So today, we're going to dive into why we love food that, let's be honest, hurts us. Let's figure out this delicious paradox.
I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? Why do we do this to ourselves? Our bodies are literally wired to run away from pain. And yet, so many of us are out there searching for the hottest ghost pepper, the spiciest curry. It's like our survival instincts are in a fight with our taste buds. And the answer, well, it's deep inside our own brains and bodies.
Okay, so let's just get right into it. The paradox of spicy food. On one hand, your body is sending up all these distress signals, but on the other, you just can't stop. It's a fascinating contradiction. So all that stuff that happens, the tearing up, the sweating, your nose running like a faucet, that's not just a random side effect. Nope, that's your body's defense system kicking into high gear. It thinks the spice is an invader, a threat, and it's doing everything it can to flush out what it literally perceives as a poison. And yet, look at this number. $5 billion. That's what the global hot sauce market is expected to be worth by 2030. So even though our bodies are screaming, danger, get this out, we're clearly not listening. We're doing the exact opposite. And that is the disconnect we're going to get to the bottom of. All right, to really get this, we have to go deeper. We need to look at what's actually happening inside your brain on a chemical level. This is where the science gets really cool. Okay, meet the star of the show, or maybe the villain. This is capsaicin, and the most important thing to get here is that spicy is not a taste. It's not like sweet or sour or salty. It's a sensation of pain. That's it. Chili peppers literally developed this chemical for one reason, as a defense to stop animals like us from eating them. It's the plant's way of saying, leave me alone. So how does this one little chemical cause so much drama? Well, it messes with a very specific receptor in your body called the TRPV1. The best way to think of this thing is as your body's internal fire alarm. Its job is to go off when it detects real, actual heat, like anything over 107 degrees Fahrenheit that could burn you. Capsaicin is a little trickster, though. It comes along and just yanks that fire alarm, even though there's no fire.
So let's walk through what happens step by step. You eat the spicy food. Instantly, that capsaicin finds and latches on to those fire alarm receptors on your tongue. Those receptors then send an emergency signal straight to your brain, screaming, "Fire! We're burning!" And your brain, not knowing any better, freaks out. It hits the big red panic button, which triggers all those defense mechanisms. The sweat, the tears, the runny nose. It's a pure automatic biological reaction.
Okay, so your body is convinced it's on fire. The big question is, why would anyone enjoy that? Well, this is where things get really interesting. We have to move past biology and into psychology, because it turns out our brains are amazing at, well, at changing the story.
And it all comes down to two things, context and control. See, after a while, your brain starts to learn. It says, okay, I feel the fire alarm going off, but wait a minute, I'm not actually on fire. It knows that you're in control, that this sensation isn't a real danger and that it's going to go away. And just knowing that, well, it changes the entire experience.
Believe it or not, there's actually a term for this, benign masochism. And it's just a fancy way of saying we enjoy negative feelings when we know deep down that we're completely safe. Think about it. It's the exact same reason we love riding roller coasters or watching scary movies or even taking a freezing cold shower. You get all the thrill and the adrenaline of a threat with none of the actual risk. So how does this magic trick happen? How does pain become pleasure? Well, a few things are going on. First, like we said, your brain learns the threat isn't real. Then you get this awesome feeling of mastery, like, yeah, I can handle this. You're conquering the burn. In response to that pain, your brain releases endorphins. Those are your body's natural feel-good chemicals, giving you a little rush. And on top of all that, if you keep eating spicy stuff, those receptors actually get less sensitive over time. That's how you build up a tolerance. Okay, but let's be real. Sometimes we miscalculate. We go a little too far with the hot sauce, and we need relief, like now. So let's get practical. The same science that explains the burn also gives us the perfect way to tame that flame. This right here is the most important thing you need to remember. Capsaicin is fat soluble. That means it dissolves in fat, not water. Think of it like trying to wash oil off your hands with just water. It doesn't work, right? It just spreads the grease around. Grabbing a glass of water when your mouth is on fire does the exact same thing. It just makes it worse. So forget the water, forget the beer. They're just going to swish the pain around. What you need is something with fat. Things like milk, yogurt, or ice cream are your best friends. They have fats and a special protein called casein that basically act like soap. They grab onto those oily capsaicin molecules and wash them right off your pain receptors. Total lifesavers. But if you want the absolute #1 ultimate fire extinguisher for your mouth, it's mint ice cream. Seriously, it's a perfect 1-2 punch. First, you get the fat and protein from the ice cream doing their job washing away the capsaicin. But then, you get the menthol from the mint. Menthol triggers a whole different set of receptors that signal cold to your brain. So you're attacking the burn from 2 sides at once. It's genius. So that brings us to one last question to think about. Is your love of spice really a matter of taste, or is it all about training? When you think about it, the fact that our enjoyment comes from learning we're safe, from a feeling of mastery, from building up a tolerance, it makes you wonder, maybe it's not about what we're born to like, but about what we've trained our brains to enjoy. Definitely something to chew on next time you reach for that bottle of hot sauce.